Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What's happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to another great episode here on the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real, so do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, I want to give you this question here because on today's conversation, I'm honored to have on former Virginia State Delegate, Republican AC Cordoza. And we're going to have the conversation, all things, really strategy and what's the game plan for Republicans. Because as you know, in Virginia, here in the Commonwealth state, my home state, last November, Republicans did not have a great turnout the way they wanted it to. You could almost say it was a trifecta. We had a newly elected Democratic governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general. You already have the majority in the state Senate, and then you also had the majority now, even more supermajority in the state House. Instead, I believe they flipped 13 seats. So it was a big win in Virginia for Democrats. Also, on a federal level, you see a lot of wins for the Democrats in special elections, right? And we're hearing from elected Republicans saying that, hey, some folks are saying, the midterms is not going to be in our favor at all. There's some saying, hey, look, we can still do this if we can do that. And you have some folks saying, well, we have a messaging problem, or we might have this problem, or we might have that problem. So my question, I want to give you this. My question I want to ask you all, are Republicans losing elections because of policy, messaging, or leadership? And which one needs to change first? So again, I'm thrilled to have my buddy, former state delegate, AC Cordoza on because, well, he was one of those individuals that was running last November and came up short. And so I just want to, for one, ask him, what did he think, the strategy wise, what did he wish he could do in order to, stay in the House? What did they do wrong? What did the Republicans do wrong as far as the overall game plan? Also, I want to get his take on being a black man and a Republican, because really, I'll just be honest, in the black community, that's not foreign the way society puts it, because I know plenty of black Republicans. That's not new, but I think now in today's day and age, it is a bit odd when you have for minorities in general to be a registered Republican. So it's interesting. It's interesting. So we're going to be having some great convos in regards to all that I just mentioned with you earlier. As always, family, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chime into the Arrington Gavin Show. As you know, we are growing each and every day with our viewerships, our subscribers as well. Our social media is continued to build up. So I just want to thank you, because all we do is we have a conversation. Yes, I share my opinion with things. Some people enjoy it. Some people don't enjoy it. At the end of the day, I respect everybody is entitled of their own opinion. And I respect those that share comments on, disagree with me. I had made a post recently questioning, why have so many guns, right? Like, I'm all for protecting your household, but why have so many guns? And a lot of folks that is, pro Second Amendment, did not care for that comment. I'm like, hey, look, that's fine. That's fine. Again, I'm not saying don't have them. I'm just questioning on the number, right? So again, just little things like that. One of my best friends has a slew of guns. One of my best friends. And yeah, we have our conversation stuff, but it's his right. So why is it like, oh, I shouldn't talk to them? Come on, y'all. We're better than that. We need to grow up. And build more the bipartisanship, in my opinion, than the whole divisiveness. But I also would say, I think administration over in Washington has something to do with that too. But I'm not gonna go further on with that. You already hear my spiel 24/7. Look, my friends, these are, for those who are watching right now, please follow us on all the outlets where you can listen and watch the Arrington Gavin Show. As you know, we drop new episodes Monday through Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, as well as wherever you get your podcasts. That could be Apple, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you get your podcast, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. We also can be heard in Las Vegas by way of KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Again, that's only on KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM Las Vegas. So on your way to the casinos, okay, on your way hoping to get lucky. If you win big, I hope you can break me off a little bit, because look, if you're listening to the show, I feel like I have something to do with that luck that you guys receive heading to the casinos or any functions happening in Las Vegas. Also, in the Metro Atlanta area, WDJY 99.1 FM. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's only on WDJY 99.1 FM. And then lastly, we're gonna head over to New Orleans, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. You can listen to the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's only on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. And lastly, I don't have the logo on this on here for those who are watching, but shout out to my family with GOATverse TV. That's right, GOATverse TV, streaming a growing independent streaming channel, streaming platform that shows the past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show. All you have to do is just download the app. It's free. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. Again, that is GOATverse TV. So I think I've said all of the outlets and the platforms you can tune into, where you can find us. So there's no excuse if you say, well, I'm trying to find what platform, what outlet are you on? I don't want to hear it, people. We're on everything, and we're continue to get on everything. So we want to continue to spread the message of great conversation. Also, we have a campaign that we're working on, is building our subscribers to 5,000 subscribers. We're trying to hit a goal of 5,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We have amazing episodes as well as great shorts, and we just need your help to continue to spread the word. Share with a friend, share with family. Like they say, share with Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. I truly appreciate that. Oh, would you look at there? I'm on my phone. I see we got a few new subscribers right there. Look at God. See, when you speak it into existence, he will deliver. Y'all ain't ready for me to preach, y'all. Because I've been a heathen. I don't want to lead y'all to the wrong direction. I don't want to lead y'all to more south than north. I'm just messing with you. But yes, my friends, look, you're in for a treat. And again, another great conversation. I hope y'all been enjoying our recent conversations we've had. Shout out to Matt Strickler. He is the Democratic candidate running for Virginia congressional, I think Virginia's 2nd congressional district. He's has a big primary happening. Also, who else have we had on recently? I feel like I'm blanking. We've had so many. We've had Jerry Green. She is the Democratic candidate running for governor of Tennessee. So, shout out to her and all of our Haley Dollar, another Virginia native. She's running for the 3rd congressional district here in Virginia. She is a libertarian candidate, and so we've been piling up with the with the interviews, of course, because I love having these conversations with folks. And the big thing, the important thing is we have them with folks from all sides of the aisle. And that's one thing I appreciate when folks come across, speak with me, or folks that tune into the show. They're like, hey, I appreciate you having conversations with everybody, not just one side. I'm like, why? Like, that's just, ugh. Like, here's the thing. Society, y'all, our worldview is very versatile, right? It's a melting pot. We have so many, whether if it's, a mixture of cultures, political opinions or political values, things in that nature, religious beliefs, right? There's we have so much to to choose from, and why not have those conversations? We might learn something, because look, I tell you all the time, I don't read a lot of books. I wish I had the drive to, but I get bored very easily, and I feel like I learn more in conversation. So that's just me. But anyway, y'all, let me stop talking here. What we're gonna do, we're gonna head to a commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna have on, as I mentioned, our special guest, former Virginia State Delegate Republican AC Cordoza, is on tap here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So let's go ahead and we're gonna take some commercial breaks. We got some bills to pay. But we come back, we'll have a great convo with the delegate, former state delegate AC Cordoza. Look, my friends, do not go anywhere. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GOP verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GOATverse TV.
GOPverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In GOATs, we trust.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, fam, welcome back to the show. Okay, I just want to repeat the question I shared with you earlier. Are Republicans losing elections because of policy, messaging, or leadership? And which one needs to change first? That's just a question I'm curious to ask, because as I mentioned, here in Virginia, wasn't a great turnout for Republicans, but we are noticing, being at its midterm season, that certain, special elections are going more in favor for Democrats win. I mean, some of them are winning in predominant right leaning areas. So I'm just curious. So the privilege that I have, being such a social butterfly that I am, I have friends from all sides of the aisle, like former state delegate AC Cordoza, who is on with me. Let me go ahead and bring him on. Delegate, what's going on with you, boss?
How you doing, Arrington?
Doing great. Now, is okay? Should I call you? Delegate, is okay if I call you AC? Is that cool?
AC is fine.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Well, look, man, I truly thank you for taking the time out your busy schedule to come here on the show. I know you are staying busy because, as I mentioned earlier, it is midterm season. We got elections happening really all through the nation, but specifically here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Before we really get going in the meat and potatoes of things, I want you to, I want our audience to get familiar with you because, like I mentioned with you during before we had started this, I would love to continue to have you on because I always enjoy hearing a perspective from someone that has served, especially someone that is a whether they're registered Democrat or registered Republican. So I want us get the audience familiar with you. What led you first, AC, to have a career in public office? Or was that something that you always wanted to do since you were a youngin', or like it was, was it late in age? Like, where did it all start for you to take a leap of faith and run for office?
Well, first off, thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I will say, so apparently my mother said I wanted to be president when I was a kid. And I mean, a really, really young kid, because I can't remember that. But I generally, no, I had no interest in politics in that kind of way. I had no intention of running. In fact, especially as a Republican, to be quite honest, I actually, and a lot of people have heard the story. I was a field manager for a company called Progressive Future, which helped Barack Obama get his first election as president in 2008. I mean,
Wow.
literally, I'm right out of high school. And I'm just going into college, and I'm meeting people. Actually, I met some people who are lifelong friends who are still Democrats, some now Republicans, there. And I worked for Obama. I helped him get elected. I was happy. And to be honest, I'm going to go into how I became a Republican and then kind of how I came to office.
That's cool. Floor is yours.
So I was bragging to one of my college professors, probably the only conservative college professor left in Virginia, and saying, yeah, I just helped Obama win, and this has been great, and da 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 da. And he asked me one question. He said, okay, so why are you a Democrat? What do they stand for? And I'm like, oh, because I'm for the poor, because that's what I was told. That's what I always heard. They're for the poor. And then, he was like, well, what way? And of course I didn't have an answer. So I said, oh, well, I'm black. And he said, hey, real quick, set me down a computer, took me to some website and said, like, the tells you where you politically lean based on your answers. Right. And I did it. I'm like, it's going to be a Democrat, of course. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, did I blank out there for a minute, or did you hear me?
Oh, no. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, no, I sat there, did the test, and it said hard Republican.
Not a hard Republican.
It said hard Republican, and I was, believe it or not, I was shocked and appalled at that time because I'm like, what? I just helped get this Democrat in office, and I really didn't know what they stood for. And it then at the end it gave you a breakdown of exactly what they stand for. I'm like, I don't stand for none of this stuff, but I was born Democrat, and and I didn't immediately become a Democrat. I said, oh well, I'm not sorry, Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm a blue dog Democrat. That's what I'm a blue dog. And just speaking about what I believe to people on campus. Because this, when I met this professor, it was at Thomas Nelson, now Virginia Peninsula Community College. The name change thing, we can get into that later, another crazy thing. But
It's a lot of name changes happening in the Hampton Roads.
A lot.
FYI.
But so I'm sitting there, and I went from there to Norfolk State. I was in the transfer program, and in Norfolk State, that's where I really got pushed from holding that Democrat title to saying, yeah, I'm a Republican. You know what I mean? And it was people who pushed me there. It wasn't even views, because at that time you could still be a Democrat with sense. You know what I mean? And now it's like
there's still plenty of conservative Democrats that that exist, right? Folks that and I say the same. I kind of say the same thing. And you might think different, just again with your position in. But I say the same thing, on the right. There's still liberal Republicans that exist. I think just in our current climate now, it's like, right, whichever letter you have in front of you, they just automatically put you in that space.
And see, I disagree with half of what you said, and I'll tell you why. What I discovered on the left, and it seemed to have gotten much worse, is that it's either you're all the way us or you're nothing to us. And on my side, on the right, I know for a fact there's some liberal Republicans. They're in one of my young Republican clubs, and they're very liberal. They're pretty liberal. They're almost a Democrat, but we don't sit there and kick them out and we don't do that on our side. We're a free, open thought side, and the left has gotten away from that. They have completely turned into a hive mind kind of side, and it's like, if you're a conservative Democrat at this time, you're basically a Republican, because you don't have no place over there. And not even if your beliefs, is just they won't allow you to have a place there. And that's what I've seen. It's almost like you're a traitor to them. And it's like, whoa, like
I think you definitely have some truth to what, and again, like again, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, because again, positionings are definitely different. I think just from from the outside looking in, there definitely is a difference between your local party to maybe a federal party. Like I always tell folks, like, don't assume that the federal level Republican Party is the same as your local city Republican, or vice versa with the Denver. I feel like there is a difference between state and then on a higher level in some sense, right? But I think it's interesting, but I know our listeners will probably say, well, I mean, he is a registered, so I think that's more, bias of what he's saying. Cause I play a little devil's advocate. I just think in general, today's climate, party sides wants to win. And I think when they look at, if someone is not all the way there, especially whatever is the winning strategy currently. So if one day the progressive side of the left is winning, then okay, they're going to want to focus and say, this is the main side we need to do. If moderate left or moderate right is winning, then we're going to stay on these levels. If you guys say the opposite, we're going to oddball you, because in a sense, if speaking of Barack Obama, which funny side story. So a good buddy of mine, Malik Abdul, he's been a familiar guest here on the show. Malik is a registered Republican. He's on pretty regularly on CNN, Newsmax, MS. I still want to say MSNBC, MS Now. And he's a Republican strategist, but he changed after Barack Obama. So around the same, around 2016-ish period, or a little early on, he changed his view. So I always think, and he's a Black Republican, by the way. It's very, very interesting. But going back, I'm almost making sure I don't lose my train of thought. Going back to what the party wants, whatever is the winning strategy. At one point, Barack Obama was seen, and I think he still is, moderate. Obama was never really progressive. But I think now you see popularity on a federal level, at least on the left. Progressive figures draw attention, but moderates are still winning elections. So it might be good to have that vocal pieces, but moderates, in my opinion, I think are somewhat still winning elections in a sense, but I could be wrong, and I could say the same thing in regards to the right, but it's kind of hard though in the right, in my opinion. I do think you have a lot of extremists on both sides, but I don't know. I think extremist views are not winning elections at this point. I know that was kind of I was kind of all around the place with that, but
no, and so I want to kind of push back just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What I've seen is, because like I said, I worked for Obama. You know, I tried to get him elected. I got him, helped get him elected. And I agree 100% what you said when you say moderates win elections.
Mm-hmm.
But if we look back for right now, President Obama is very moderate for now. But in 2008, some of the stuff he did wasn't moderate at all. In fact, quite a bit of things he did was not moderate at all for 2008. But he ran as a moderate. Yeah. Let's keep it 100. Back in 2008, lighting the White House in rainbow, that's not moderate. 2008, we're talking almost 20 years ago. That is not moderate. He was not doing moderate stuff.
But you know what though? But then I go to, again, strategy, right? Because strategy would say that during that period, the left, one of their big voting bases is the LGBTQ. And I think it's very rare now. That's why it raises a lot of not, I wouldn't say raises a lot of eyebrows, but it definitely makes a good headline story when you see openly, gay conservatives. I mean, let's just, we had a lieutenant governor candidate in John Reed, openly gay conservative, Trump supporter. There's many others that are very, so it's always very rare. But I say all that to say, whatever is a winning thing in the party is like, okay, we have to. So, but I mean, I can't, me personally, I can't say if that's a progressive view or a moderate. I really couldn't. I can't say. But I mean,
well, and I'm not trying to say this today. Like, like I said, I know John Reed. He's a good guy. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. It's none of my business. As long as it's with someone 18 and above and they consent, I don't care. That's all I care about. My issue is, what I'm saying is, it is a strategy. He ran as a moderate. If you remember back then, he said before, when he was running, I will never do these things. And then when he got in, he did these things. And when I say that to bring up the fact that Democrats are still using that playbook, because we have our current governor, Abigail Spanberger, who ran basically as a moderate, and on day one did everything that basically she said she wouldn't do, or she just wouldn't answer the question to remain viewed as a moderate. And that's what I'm trying to say is not, I'm not saying that they're not progressive. They're very progressive. That left wing of the party is winning. And when I say that left wing of the party is getting power, but they're putting on a moderate mask to win power. And that seems to be the strategy, because everyone is looking for because no one likes either extreme. But on their side, one thing I have always seen is they actually try and accomplish the ideals of their far fringe of their party. But in order to do it, they do whatever it takes, including pretending to be in the center. And we've seen that repeated over and over and over again, that they pretend to be in the center, get in and do the far left stuff that they can possibly do. And
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, because we could definitely chop it up a little long, but I definitely want to get more with your story. I will ask you this, and we probably could agree on this one. When it comes to a strategy in general, any candidate, regardless of the political side, campaign season, you're almost trying to sell. Well, you're almost trying to sell a product. You being the product, right? You're trying to please in order to receive votes. So obviously, a candidate is going to want to say things that will always put a smile on people's face and draw the attention, because they want to try and win the election. then then that could always change once in position. Because it's interesting that we're having this conversation, because I had the same conversation with a dear friend of mine who's conservative. We don't agree on the same things, but again, we agree at the end of the day. We want to see what's positive for our country, for the for our community, all that great stuff. But the conversation that we basically had was, everybody can say one thing, during campaign season, but once it's in office, do they, is a promise kept, right? Or do they capitalize on those issues that they said they were going into? I mean, it's always kind of like a revolving door, and I think that's what really kind of ticks off a lot of voters. And I have the conversation here a lot with, whether they're candidates or elected officials. I just have the conversations, grassroots, right? I speak with, groups from all sides of the aisle. Like, what's the issue? What are you frustrated about? Oh, I'm tired of, seeing the same old, or X, Y, and Z. Why even bother getting out there to vote? Because I'm a big advocate of, voting. Like, get out there and vote. I understand it's, it can be impatient, right? Politics is not attractive to people, but at the end of the day, politics is a part of everyday life. People try to run away from it 24/7. But it's very important that you get out there and vote, stay focused, and all that good stuff. But that being said, because I always like to make something, I say short question, but I always expand it a lot. You're still words can, how can I say it? Words will be said during campaign season, but most of the time, or 25-30% of the time, they're gonna change once they're in the position.
And I agree with that, especially in purple seats. And the reason I'm going to say that, and I'm going to tell you, that wasn't me. I was very clear about what I stood for, what I stood on, and I voted 100% what I stood on.
Well,
whether
hence why you won,
and
you were in that position for what, two terms, right?
Two terms in a place where I wasn't supposed to win. I won by 64 votes the first time, against a person who has a bridge named after them in my city. And it's because I'm very honest, even to my detriment. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm going to do so. If I'm not going to do it, I'm gonna be like, hey, I hear your opinion. I respect it. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to do that. And if you don't vote for me, I would like you to vote for me. Hopefully I'll convince you next time, but I can't do that. I can't in good conscience do that. For instance, one thing, a lot of people in my party wanted me to vote for like the Confederate statues and the Confederate license plate, and I made it very clear I'm not doing that. Ain't happening. And I got up in city council and said I'm for getting rid of it. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
And that's why AC, I've always had respect for you and in general, and I guess this kind of segues we're going out of order with this, but it's okay. We're having a conversation. We're not a news show over here. This is a conversation show. This is a conversation program. But that's very, very important. And I think I want a lot of folks, I hope that are tuning into this tuning into this episode, because you do see, and I'm not speaking for you, but I could just say what I have seen is that sometimes you would have Black conservatives that are kind of quiet when it comes to something like that, right? And that's where I go back to strategy, right? If the goal is trying to bring in more young people, or even bring in more minorities and Black folks to the right, they have to be like, okay, well, let's be dead honest. This is wrong. This right here is wrong. That is wrong. That is not right whatsoever. And they ignore the race talk. But I just want I applaud you for making that stance, because you being in that position, I know was not easy. And I just want to let our audience know, at the time when you were in office, I believe you were the only Black Republican. Am I correct? In the
General Assembly. So
that's not just House. That's House and Senate. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. and I'm gonna say something. Like I said, we're on the right.
In the cafeteria? No, I'm joking.
No, really. We're on the right. And on the right, like I said, we have that free expression of our thought. And I'm going to be honest, when I first hit that no, saying I'm not voting for this thing, or maybe it was yes to vote again. It was whichever one against the Confederate stuff. I was like, okay, what's this caucus going to be like afterward? And it wasn't like, I think one person asked me, hey, why did, real quick question, why did you vote? And I said, look, I voted because da 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 da. This is how I feel. I don't, I feel like, statues are for the victor, and that the only reason to have statues for someone who didn't win is if you agree with what they fought for.
Yeah.
And so, and then I got the pushback of like, hey, and it wasn't even pushback like, oh, you should vote. Da, da, da. It was like, well, I'm not a racist, but my great grandfather was in the Confederacy. That's why I want the statue up. And I'm like, cool, I can understand that. I understand. So I'm not going to look at you funny because you voted yes. Because if my grandfather had a statue, even if he's not, but let's say he did something crazy and it was his statue, I kind of still want my grandfather's statue up. But guess what? He ain't my grandfather. And what he did crazy, I'm not with. So I'm not going to sit there and I'm going to vote no, but I'm also not going to judge you for voting yes, because that's your reason. All right, cool.
And see, I'll be like this. I'll be like, sure, you can have the statue in your backyard. We're taking it down. In your backyard. Keep it.
Hey, go somewhere else with it. That's fine. But I'm just not going to do it. And, and that's the thing. My constituency doesn't want me to do it. And that's my biggest point that I tell everybody. I said, look, this is my opinion on something. You see these guns behind me. I'm a big gun person. Okay. My constituents are big gun people. Hampton is a very big gun place, even though it is a blue place, But I tell people when it comes to any issue, look, I am 1/90,000th of this vote. I'm supposed to represent you guys. I'm just one small little piece of that puzzle, my own feelings. So if you tell me you want me to do whatever, y'all tell me that, I'm going to do whatever. I'm not going to do what I feel like, because I'm not representing me. I'm representing my district. I'm just here to make their will happen. And it's just that simple. We're representatives. We're not representing us. We're representing them. And if you're thinking like that, this should be real easy. This job should be easy. It's not. It's not easy because you have 99 other people and most of them aren't doing that. So, but if they did, it would be a real easy job and parties wouldn't even matter. But they do, because people take their own personal beliefs and their own personal stuff and they bring it in. And now sometimes you bring it in. Like if they say, if 80,000 people say, hey, I want a bill to blow up this children's hospital, I don't care how many of them say it. I'm not going to do that because I have a conscience. And therein lies where the difference should be. Common sense, we have to use common sense, but I've learned common sense is not common.
Well, and I was just about to go with that. Common sense is everybody. And again, sometimes common sense is being used as and I'm not a strategist at all. I'm a business owner, but being a business owner, you have to strategize in order to make a sale, make this, make that. Common sense is now a new talking point. Everybody's like, we're going back to common sense. And then when reality hits, it's not so common sense. I mean, I can, and I want to spend time, but I can speak on many things as far as the administration in Washington that have had their moments, and I will share that with you a little later on, because I want to talk a little more on kind of backtracking what led you to public office. So you mentioned that you worked in a progressive group, which is interesting because progressive to hard Republican after is what the test said, but you were involved kind of like on the boots on the ground during the years when Obama was running, and then from there you saw what your values lean towards. What made you take that leap of faith and say, I'm gonna run for office? For one, that's the first question. What was the decision on why you wanted to run? Two, run as a Republican again in an area that, man, you don't see a lot of Black Republicans running in. So those are just my two questions I want to ask you.
So, well, first, I'm a Republican at this point. Comes around to voting time, and this is a 2019ish when I
Mhm.
first ran. Uh, and but I'm not planning on running for office at all. Not at all. All right, that's the furthest thing from my mind. I've completely tuned out politics. I don't care about that mess. The only thing I care about political in this time is behind me, is these
Mhm.
guns.
Mhm.
And so what actually occurred is I went to a gun show. The Hampton has a very, very large gun show. It's like one of the
Mhm.
largest in the state.
Mhm.
Well, it was. And so I'm running late. Also, I'm late. I've been late a lot. I'm working on that, but I've been late a lot. And lateness,
No, no, not at all. Inside joke, y'all. Inside joke. No, I'm messing with you.
but lateness has actually gotten me a whole career in politics. So
Okay.
I was running very late to this gun show, and I just needed some small little part
Mhm.
for a gun. And I got there, and the line was out the door. It was crazy. I was like, oh man, I have to wait in this line. And VCDL, which I've been a member, and actually the entire time I was in office, I was the number one VCDL delegate the entire time.
Wow.
Number one, right? And VCDL, he said, hey, you want to skip that line? I'm like, yeah. He said, give me $5 extra in your email, and I got a ticket for you right now. I'm like, done, easy, boom, boom. Here's your money, bye. Right? I go in, get what I need to get, boom. Couple months later, I get an email pop on my phone as I'm coming home from work. It said, this is during the Second Amendment sanctuary time. It said,
Mhm.
hey, come to Hampton City Council, speak for your gun rights, da 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 da. Da. I'm thinking in my head, there's gonna be like 20 people. It's gonna be like 20
Mhm.
people. I'm gonna I'll go, it's gonna be in and out. And again, running late.
Mhm.
I get there and I'm the very last. I mean, I get there at the last minute to sign up to speak. I was number 495.
Good
I
Lord.
remember I have the green ticket. I was the very last speaker. Now again, I'm number 495. I thought it was gonna be 20. It's 495 of them, right? And so I'm like, come. I mean, I wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And I'm sitting there, and as I finally get inside, because you get in after people leave enough to get in, it was crazy,
Mhm.
right? So there's the very prominent Democrat there,
Mhm.
and again, this is mostly Republicans. We are completely outweighing them. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, or let me rephrase: mostly pro-gun people. We are
Mhm.
greatly outweighing them, right?
Mhm.
And but they're still sitting in their little seat in their little section. And one of them, there actually one of them is on electoral board right now.
Mhm.
And actually, we're pretty cool. I don't have no problem with her at all. She's pretty cool. Some people do. A lot of issues there, but she's never done anything to me. Um, but they said, "Oh, these people don't look like they're from Hampton." And I'm like, "Well, what you mean? What is that supposed to
Mhm.
mean? Because
Mhm.
it's a mix. It's
Mhm.
real mixed. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Which
it's
honestly,
real."
look, I'm a lifelong Chesapeake resident, so I will be that person. Be like, oh, I never knew Hampton was a mixed city. So you teaching me something right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a majority minority city,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
this is a mixed. Like, let's be honest, most people think this gun issue is more of a white issue.
Not at all. Let me tell you something. Everybody got good.
I know everybody got them, but when you think of people coming to city council and talking about it,
Got you.
you're gonna think it's more
Yeah.
people, white people.
Mhm.
But this
Mhm.
is real mixed,
Okay.
right? And then the people who came up, a lot of them at this point were brothers.
Mhm.
And then that comment comes out, and it was a little, it made some people mad, made me mad. I don't like it.
Mm,
You know what
mm,
I mean? And and again, this is not the board, the school board, the electoral board person who said this. It was the
mhm,
other prominent Democrat who said
mm,
this, and she was black too, but
mhm,
still pissed me off
mhm.
because don't sit there and try and devalue my blackness because we don't
Yeah.
agree. And
Yeah.
that's something. In fact, if we get time, like we can talk about
We
when I
we
got
definitely
in.
we definitely go have to hold that for a part two. But no, continue what you were saying though.
So I got up, and I remember Donnie Tuck. He was mayor at the time.
Mhm.
He's no longer mayor, but he was mayor, and he tried to pronounce my name. My name, is a little rough. That's why I go by AC. Um, but and I get up there and I just speak on what I know. And apparently I was very eloquent. I mean, again, I'm not. I'm a politician now because I've been elected, but I'm not a politician. I'm not a polished, super orator. At least I don't claim to be. I'm not sitting there. People have said, "Man, that was a great speech." I'm like, I just spoke the
You
truth.
spoke. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I just spoke. But I'm sitting there and I just gave a speech on what was right and what was wrong and what they were doing was wrong. And I got a standing ovation by these 400 people, everyone in the room who could fit in. And again, this whole time it had been quiet. They wasn't standing, maybe a little woo, but standing ovation now, right? And so, except there's like 7 Democrats who are still sitting down. Everyone else is on their feet. And Donnie, the mayor, he's not one to like that because he don't like that. He don't like that kind of stuff. Just generally, it didn't have nothing to do with the issue. You're not supposed to be doing that when we're in session. You need to chill out. But you can see his annoyance on. There's a video of it too. But right after that, one of the party chairs, not the chair, but one of the party chairs, approached me and said, "Hey, we need you to run for city council." And I looked him square in his eye and I said, "You've lost your darn mind. I ain't running for nobody's office. I'm going to work tomorrow. I'm not doing that mess."
Bye. I'm tired.
Bye. Right? And he said, okay. Well, hey, will you at least come back in a month when they decide the issue? And I'm like, all right, I'll come back in a month, But I'm thinking to myself, I'm not running for what? Running for office? I'm not doing that. That's nuts. But I said, I'll come back. So I came back. We all spoke again. Wasn't as many, but it was a lot. And so we spoke. I spoke last again because that late thing. But I spoke last again, and again another standing ovation. And they took it off of the agenda without voting. Wow. Which they used some really, really old charter rule to do it, and it pissed everyone off, especially me. Wow. And now this time, the chair and the chair of the party came to me and said, "You want to run now?" And I was just angry enough and stupid enough to say yes, and I ran for city council. And I always say those 2 people are responsible for me running for city council, really running for office at all, is the chair at the time. And he was a great man, former chair, Bob Heffley. And I thank him so much because he was there the whole time, making sure I did all the right things and knew where to go. Bob Heffley really was a great chair, and I hope I'm the chair now. I hope to one day be as good as him.
Okay, and see, and look, that's news to me. So now, so you're vice or chair?
No, I'm the chair. I'm
the chair.
I'm
okay,
the chair
of that.
Yep, and I'm the chair. And so I hope to be as good as him. And then of course that Democrat, what's her name? Can't think of her name right now. I can see her face, and her making me so mad. Can't think of it. It'll come to me. But she made me so mad when she made that slide comment that it really energized me enough to get out and I knocked. When I say I knocked, they say they've never seen somebody knock like I knocked. I knocked every door in the district.
Wow.
I knocked. And I knocked angrily. I could see her face as I was knocking. As I can see her face, that she's really truly responsible for me being here because she fueled me with that.
So AC, we have about 11 minutes. I'm gonna try to squeeze in some questions in regards. Sorry to have to kind of fast forward. So okay, took the leap of faith, ran for city council. Now, was that a win? Was that a loss, or how did that end up? And then let's talk kind of your state position as well. So if you don't mind.
All right. Yeah. No. So being a delegate of the House No, so first off, I did lose my city council race. Now, speaking with someone in the registrar's office, they pulled me to the side and they said, "Hey, look, nobody knows you. You're coming in. You literally just made the ballot barely. You're gonna get about 195 votes, and that's it." And I said, "Okay, I'm gonna get 995 votes. I got you." And like I said, I knocked like crazy, and I got 3,500 votes.
Woo!
That wasn't enough. It wasn't enough because it was 5 people. It
But again,
wasn't enough.
But for somebody that is
A
new
no
at
name.
that's again a no name. That's still pretty major. I mean, that's still a big deal.
And so then I got to think someone else. And a lot of people are mad at him right now because he has some. They've been slandering him in the papers or in online. But my strategist, Cole Trower, and they trying to say he did blah 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 blah, which I'm gonna set the record straight on that. He was assaulted. He was jumped in his house by 2 people. All right, and the charges, the trumped up charges they try and put up against him to try and avoid the attempted murder charges that they're facing is quite ridiculous. And anyone, especially other Republicans who are sitting there defaming him, really need to be ashamed of themselves. That's A. But B, Cole Trower is the one who called me right after that and said, "Hey, are you AC Cordoza?" I said, "Yeah, who's this?" He's like, "Look, I'm Cole Trower. I want you to run for the House of Delegates. If you let me be your strategist, I'm gonna be with you every minute of the day. And if you get those same 3,500 votes, you will be a delegate." And I looked at that phone and I said, "Who are you and what is a delegate?" Because I didn't know it was called the House of Delegates. I'm thinking it's a representative, but I didn't know what it was. That's I'm showing you just how disconnected I was from this whole political scene at this moment. And so, I prayed and I talked to my family. I have a really praying mother, and I called her. I'm like, "Look, they want me to do this thing," and we had our whole family had been knocking, and we just lost, and it was like, do we want to do this again? And she said, "Yeah, you need to do it again. Do it. This time you're gonna win." I said, "All right, I'm gonna do this one more time." And by the skin of our teeth, 64 votes. If I had skipped one day, if I said, "Nah, I'm not going to do it today," one time, I wouldn't be a delegate. I wouldn't do it. You wouldn't be interviewing me right now. But I did. And every day, that man Cole would wake me up and say, "Get your fat A up and knock those freaking doors." And it was what I needed. He kept pushing, and he pushed me through.
And then, I didn't mean to cut you off, AC. But but that drive, that strategy led you to serving as a House of Virginia state delegate, which you served for 2 terms. Again, being the oddball in the group, being the only Black Republican during your term in the General Assembly, which is major. I think before you was former Lieutenant Governor Winston Earl Sears, who I believe was the only, because she was a delegate prior to serving as Lieutenant Governor. So I mean, that's a big obstacle. We're running low on time, but it's the fun part about this show is that we're gonna have a part 2. We're gonna have a part 2 because I would love to continue this. I do want to continue this conversation. But once that, and maybe we can kind of not share too much, because I want to leave the part 2 to okay, opening day as a during that period when when you're running for House of Delegate, then you won. I want to talk about that as well as more on just current politics right now. But we're running low on time. But really quick though, I do want to ask you, strategy wise, I mentioned earlier the Republican Party in the state of Virginia, or really didn't have the ending that they wanted, right? We have an administration now, majority Democratic, from governor, lieutenant, AG, all the way down, state house, state senate, all the way down. What do you think was the not losing, but what was the issue? Why so? What did the Republicans do wrong during campaign season?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say it. It was the losing. It was the lose. We lost that race. That was our race to lose. And the reason it wasn't lost here in Virginia. It was lost in DC. And I'm serious. It was lost in DC. There was nothing any of us could do to win because we had too many federal workers, and it wasn't even firing them. That wasn't the problem. It wasn't that some of them getting fired. Because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the jobs that he got rid of were held by liberal people who wouldn't gonna vote for him. That's just keeping it 100. A lot of them, most of them, right? But it was them being furloughed. It was everybody else being furloughed. It was everybody else being not getting paid. It was those things. It's like, why am I going to go vote when I voted to put an administration in, and now they can't get past these little seven Democrats holding it in. And you said, was it leadership? It was leadership, but it wasn't leadership in the administration. I literally blame one single person for us losing in Virginia and all over the country. And that was Senator John Thune. If he had suspended that filibuster when it came to these things, like the Democrats promised they will do, as soon as they take a power back, if he would have suspended that and said, nope, we're opening this government, none of that would have happened. We may still not have maybe got the governor. We may have not got the lieutenant governor, but we guarantee you we would have Jason as our attorney general. Guarantee you we would have lost maybe only a couple seats, maybe 3, maybe 4, but it wouldn't have been in the teens. Surely wouldn't have. But why would Republicans who came out so heavily to give other Republicans literally everything? It wasn't just Republicans. It was a whole slew of people who said, we want Trump, we want his policies, we want this stuff, we don't want Kamala, period. We don't want the far left politics. We don't want it. Why would they come out when they said, we gave you all the power you need, go ham, get it done? And then you let that one little thing stop you from getting the government open.
I want to definitely, we're having a part 2, y'all. I'm already look, I'm gonna talk with AC after this show right now. I'll be like, look, we scheduled a part 2 because I think that's very, very interesting, only because you mentioned one person. I think the majority would say, and we could hold it for the part 2, but that one person is the reason this whole, this slew. I mean, that's big. That's big. And I want to expand. I want you to expand on that a little more, but definitely for part 2, brother, because we are running low on time. Real quick, how can folks continue to chime in what you got going on, all that good stuff? You have about 20 seconds. Sorry to rush you, but how can folks continue to follow you, socials, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So I am on Instagram at AC for Hampton. I am on Facebook at AC for Virginia, and AC Cordoza on Twitter. X is what it is now. Also, I'm a big gamer, probably the only gamer in the General Assembly, or was at least. So you can see me on Twitch at Black Republican. And come play. Let's have a good time. I'm quick to have a discussion up there while I'm beating you on the sticks. I'll be debating you on the air. So I'm 1000% with that. But just reach out to me on social media. We're always here, and we'll see where it goes after this.
Awesome. Well, look, AC, don't go anywhere. I want to chop it up with you just for a couple minutes after the show. So hold tight. But I thank you again for taking the time out your busy schedule, my friend. All right, y'all. I'm out. I hope y'all enjoyed. Talk to y'all soon for another great combo here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.